Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and how are you doing today? I hope you are all doing very, very well today. So, I have had the great honor and pleasure of being able to share with you over the course of several videos some thoughts that I have with respect to the Criterion Collection releases from 2019. And oh gosh, what a year it has been. It is almost over, and with that, I would like to share with you in one last video my thoughts about the Criterion Collection releases from 2019. This time, I would like to share with you my top 10 favorite overall releases from the Criterion Collection from this year, 2019. So, as I have said in prior videos, I think this has been a very eventful and strong year from the Criterion Collection for many reasons. Primarily, of course, to do with the strength of the releases that we saw over the course of this year. And those strengths, of course, were displayed in terms of cover art, in terms of presentation, in terms of supplements and the like, the usual stuff that we have come to expect from the Criterion Collection. And the Criterion Collection didn't disappoint this year. But also, of course, we saw some fantastic, strong, unforgettable works of art presented in the Criterion Collection, either having returned to the collection, having since been in some kind of prior incarnation, a DVD or a Laserdisc that fell out of print, for example, but now it has returned, or a new individual release with oftentimes a new presentation, a restoration, or the like, or some kind of box set that is trying to present certain films or certain works in a nice collective, convenient, easy to go to package that is still undeniably Criterion. Whatever the case may be, this year was filled with many surprises, many ups and downs, and all through everything, it has been a wonderful time to be a fan of cinema, in my opinion. So it's been a great year. And thank you very much to all of you who have joined me this year and who have also joined me on these videos regarding my thoughts of the year 2019. It's been a real pleasure to be able to connect with you, and I look forward to our continuing conversations going forward in the new year, 2020. But 2019 is not quite over yet, my friends. We still have a couple more days left. And while we still have the time, let me now please present to you my top 10 overall favorite list. This is my overall list, top 10 favorite releases from the Criterion Collection. So you will likely see many titles that I have mentioned in past videos, but now this is going to be a general comprehensive list, and I've expanded it to not 5 but now 10, given that there might be a plentiful amount of titles that need discussion. I understand also that 10 is still a very arbitrary and maybe low number, given the relative number of titles that were released by the Criterion Collection overall. I totally get that. I also get that this is my own subjective choice, and so that means that in all likelihood my choices here will likely differ from yours. And as always, my friends, as always, that is great. And actually, that's the way it should be, because differences of opinion and variety of thought is really what makes the world go round, and I think it's wonderful. So please feel free to share with me, please feel free to share with all of us what your thoughts are on what your favorite releases were from this year, what your favorite films were of this year, what your favorite Criterion titles were of this year, otherwise, other non-Criterion titles, etc. I'd love to know, as always, my friends. But for now, let me, if you don't mind, share with you my top 10 favorite releases from the Criterion Collection during this year, 2019. Number 10. This is Spine number 977. This is from 1986. This is a film that I did not actually speak about in any prior video up to now, and so it just managed to miss out on being in the top 5 of this video or that video, but it was always lingering around, because as soon as I got it, I was enchanted by the release, and I've always been a fan of this film, but there's something quite remarkable about it being in the Criterion Collection. This is the film by David Lynch. The film is Blue Velvet. This film, Blue Velvet, is a difficult film, and it has a harsh and almost grating subject matter that is very Lynchian, for lack of a better term. And those of you who know the works of David Lynch, you will know what I'm getting at. There is an absurdity that is combined with an all-Americana type of feel that deals with surfaces and deals with the undergrowth, the underbelly, if you will, of everyday existence. What lies beneath is not always what is on top, and what lies beneath is not always a pleasant situation. So unearthing the ugly, but still finding things that are absurd, bizarre, beautiful, and emotional. This is at the heart of Blue Velvet for me, as a film, as a work, as a brilliant example of, one might call it a surrealist cinematic work of art. One might call it absurdist in the artistic sense of that word. One might also call it a true-to-form depiction of something akin to a kind of America through the eyes of a true master, that is David Lynch. There are many iconic moments in this film, many uses of music and sound and soundscapes and visualscapes that are nightmarish, but also dreamy and wondrous, and filled with a kind of ethereal quality that remains forever haunting and dangerous, but still so captivating and hypnotic and never lets go. So this is my number 10 favorite release from the Criterion Collection in 2019. The film is Blue Velvet. Number 9. This is Spine 1000. The set is Godzilla, the Showa-era films, 1954 to 1975. I have spoken about this set on many, many occasions over the course of many, many videos, so one who watches my videos here on YouTube might already be kind of sick of me mentioning this set because I've mentioned it so much, or it might seem that way. But let me just mention it one more time this year and just say that this is, in many respects, a monumental release in the context of kaiju films, tokusatsu films from Toho, Godzilla films, because we have here for the first time in one collection the Japanese release versions of the 15 films from the Showa era of Godzilla, together available for the first time with English subtitles from the Criterion collection. This is actually a really, really big deal. And also the specific supplements and extra features, including the Japanese version of King Kong vs. Godzilla, as well as other supplements, makes this release very historic, actually, and very monumental. A landmark in many respects with respect to this genre of cinema. So I don't want to belabor that point, but I really think it is very significant. And these set of films, as I said many times, is not meant to be for everyone, but for those out there who love these films, this is, I think, in many ways a must-get set. There are flaws. There are flaws with any release, and perhaps with this particular release and the way that I feel about the Godzilla films in general, perhaps the flaws of this set stuck out to me a little bit more than they should have. I grant you that. But even with that situation, I still believe that this is a truly worthy set, and a dynamic, one of a kind type of deal, in my view, and really wonderful. It makes one wish that there were more kaiju films on the horizon from Criterion in the future. Who knows? We can always keep our fingers crossed, I suppose. But in the meantime, we can still enjoy the pleasures and wonders that this set has to offer. And that is Godzilla, the Showa era films, 1954 to 1975. Number 8. This is Spine 137 from 1946. This is Alfred Hitchcock's film of Notorious. This is one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock films ever. This is one of my favorite early American films ever. I never grow tired of watching this film, and with the package and presentation from the Criterion collection, bringing this film back from OOP status was one thing. Really great, of course, but to present it with the supplements that it did, as they currently exist on this new release, really is just makes me feel so happy. I am over the moon with respect to this set. I've learned so much about this film that I never knew before. And while I don't claim to be an expert in this film, Notorious, still, the supplements did provide a lot of nuggets of trivia and information about certain scenes, how they were shot, certain background information, technical information about Hitchcock and his methods, that really flew against my general understanding of how Hitchcock made his films, especially during this early period. So Notorious, as a Criterion collection presentation, is a stellar package, and it's a stellar package that supports an utterly magnificent film. It's exciting, it's thrilling, it's romantic, it's suspenseful, and it is breathtaking in its technical virtuosity and also its moments of romance and intimacy. And believe me, those scenes between Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman just sizzle, and they continue to do so to this very day. It is a sublime piece of cinematic art and entertainment. The film is Notorious. Number 7. This is Spine number 995 from 1981. The filmmaker is John Waters. The film is Polyester. Now, I spoke about this film in the context of films that used to be in the Criterion collection but were upgraded. This was an upgrade in that sense of the word, in the broad sense of the word, an upgrade from a prior Criterion Laserdisc. This set is true to form in terms of all of the goodies that it has to offer. The Odorama card, of course, the commentary track, of course. There are also a lot of great supplements here, and they help to support a kind of movie-going experience that is, again, a kind of assault on the senses in many forms of that phrase. It is also a great example of over-the-top, outlandish, ludicrous filmmaking. But this is all said by me with great love and appreciation, because there's something so moving and charming and undeniably witty and beautiful about this work. It is a work that is of many tones, and it balances the campy and the ludicrous with the earnest and the intimate with great skill. And it is an example, I think, of the great dexterity with which John Waters practices his art, and he expresses himself. Really quite wonderful. And I've expressed my love for this film before, and I will continue to do so. It is not a film for everyone, and I acknowledge that, but if you are okay with this style of comedy and sort of off-the-wall humor combined with a mixture of a melodramatic style that is also combined with elements of the gimmicky and the take on cinema itself with Odorama and the like. If you're okay with that, then you will, of course, love this film, as I do. So this, my friends, is the film Polyester. Number 6. This is spy number 983. This is from the years 1966 and 1967. Sergei Bondarchuk. The film work is called War and Peace. This is wide in scope. It is epic. It is magnificent. It is a breathtaking, exhausting, and harrowing work. It's expressionistic, and it is also true to form in how it cares for its human characters and how it gives them room to breathe and to allow us, the viewers, to live out this world with all of its thrills and all of its horrors and tragedies and triumphs. Battles are played out, and they are given great emphasis and pronouncements in terms of visual flares and styles, and a haunting quality, a real command over cinema that is undeniable, and it is unmistakable when one sees what one sees when one watches the events of this film as they unfold over time. This is a remarkable achievement in cinema, and thank goodness that this has been made available through the Criterion collection. Thank you very much for doing so. This is the film War and Peace. Number 5. This is spy number 969 from 1964. The filmmaker is Jan Nemetz. The unforgettable work, Diamonds of the Night. It is tough, gritty. It is a cinematic poem in many respects about death, and it is about fear, and it is about the yearning and desire to escape. There are many aspects of this film that are challenging. There are many aspects of this film that push the boundaries of visual cinema, of expression in cinema, of expression of human emotion and fantasy, and also temporal shifts in a way that makes one consider and actually question what we are watching before our very eyes. Are we really seeing what it is we think we are seeing? Or are we seeing something that is representation of something else entirely? Something beyond the cinematic reality that we seem to feel is being depicted in this film as we are seeing it? Or is there something more going on here? It's possible to look at this film through either of those lenses, my friends, and still find the film to be deep-rooted, mysterious, and chilling, and a meditation on death in a cinematic mode of expression that leaves one breathless. This is the film, Diamonds of the Night. Number 4. This is Spy Number 965 from 1970. The filmmaker is Barbara Loden. The film is Wanda. This is a film that is, I believe, a grand expression of the working class American experience during the 1970s, late 60s, early 70s. It is also a film that is of an existential power. It is a film with a main character at its center that is not wholly likable or wholly unlikable, but is depicted as a human being with flaws and foibles, and also with situations that befall her that make her have to confront the choices that she must make, and consider where she is and where she finds herself at this particular stage of her life, and what it is that she has to do, what it is that she chooses to do, or maybe chooses not to do. And maybe she is a character that wanders, that is aimless, that has no direction. And if that's the case, my friends, then we must ask ourselves, what is therefore the film saying with respect to that aspect? An aimless, wandering sense within the landscape of this crime film, this human drama film, this gritty landscape film that is giving us a lens and a look into this particular aspect of 1970s American life. And it is a unforgettable work of art. This is the film, Wanda. Number 3. This is 973, Spy Number 973. This is from 1979. The filmmaker is Gillian Armstrong. The film is My Brilliant Career. I've spoken about this film before, but let me mention again that this is a film that gives us a dichotomy, if you will. Society versus individualism. Societal expectations versus the individualistic yearning to discover oneself under one's own terms. And what is the result of that struggle and conflict? At the center of that is the energetic performance by Judy Davis, who gives us one of the great performances of the ages, I think. Played with great intelligence, sensitivity, aplomb. Judy Davis is wonderful, and we feel for her. We want her to succeed. We want her to want to know. We want her to be able to know herself. Will she be able to discover herself by the end of the film? What answers will she discover, if any? What choices will she make when her character needs to make those important choices in her life? What will be the results of those choices? Will she be happy? Will she not be happy? Or is it unclear? Who knows? You have to watch the film to discover the answers to those questions and more. And believe me, if you do decide to watch this film, you will enjoy it, I hope. Hopefully you will enjoy it. In fact, I am almost positive that you will enjoy it. It is really great. one of my favorite films this year. This is My Brilliant Career. Next, this is my number 2 choice, my favorite release from the Criterion collection this year. Spy numbers 990, 991, and 992. These are 3 films. Where is the Friend's House from 1987, and Life Goes On from 1992, Through the Olive Trees from 1994. These films make up what is known as the Coker Trilogy. The filmmaker is, of course, Abbas Kiarostami. I've spoken about this set before, but I don't think I've spoken about it enough. This trilogy needs to be seen. It demands to be seen by as many people as possible. It will move you, it will shake you, it will make you question what it is you are seeing. It will make you question the possibilities of cinema. It really shows us, shows me, it provides to me the kind of pathway, if you will. When I'm watching it, I realize that I'm watching something that is not linear. It is operating on many planes of cinematic existence. It is incredibly intelligent. It is so intelligent, it's operating on more levels than I can ever hope to comprehend. But it never loses sight of its human qualities. In other words, the emotional core of the characters and what they're going through during their particular journeys as they are expressed throughout these 3 films. That's what makes this trilogy so special, and that's what makes it really just awe-inspiring. It has the potential, I think, of really changing one's perspective on the power and reach that cinema potentially has. And believe me, when watching this trilogy, I think one will believe in the power and reach of the potentiality of cinema, of the vitality of cinema, and how cinema can live and breathe. These are prime examples of that. And so I urge anyone out there who has yet to experience the films of the Coker trilogy to consider getting these films, trying to search them out and watch them and experience them and grapple with them and feel challenged with them and question them and engage with them, because that's what they are meant to do. They are meant to give us something to think about, food for thought, and so much more. These are a brilliant set of films, my friends, and I hope as many people see these films as possible. These are the films that make up the Coker trilogy. And my number 1 favorite Criterion release from 2019 is the film that is Spy Number 993. The year is 1960. The filmmaker is Ritwik Ghatak. The film is The Cloud-Capped Star. I cannot emphasize enough how much I love this film. I cannot say to you strongly enough how deeply I adore this work. And also, I cannot urge you enough. Oh, I wish as many people can see this film as possible. I truly hope that this film is seen by many people, because it has so much to offer. It leaps off the screen. What it shows on the screen is utterly beautiful, but when it leaps off the screen, it just grabs you. It never lets go. And it is a magical, I've used the word transcendental experience, and I really mean that, because it does something. It touches something. It touches a little part of me that makes me so moved by the events of this film and the ordeals of this family and the relationships among these members of this family. And it really drives home a kind of universal humanistic spirit. There's much more at play here, of course, don't get me wrong. There is so much significance in terms of sort of a socio-political situation, the backdrop in which this film was made, the kinds of historical significance that is set forth with respect to the context of the production of this film, of course. And this is all stuff that is beyond my area of expertise, unfortunately. And so there are many aspects of this film that are linked, I think, particularly to sort of a historical context that I am not fully aware of yet. I'm doing my best, but there's still much, much for me to learn. Be that as it may, this film still, for me, operates on a direct emotional level that never fails to affect me, to shake me, and to sort of agitate me, and to make me feel by the end of it. I am feeling something by the end of this film and all the way through it. And it is something that I'm unable to shake. It is something that I cannot forget, and I don't want to be, if I am to be honest about it, because it lingers and it just fills me with so much hope, and it makes me so happy that throughout all these years I've had the great pleasure of watching so many examples of fine cinema, and along the way I've been able to watch I've been so fortunate to be able to watch so many examples of fine cinema, and I'm so proud to say that among those examples is The Cloud Capstar. This is one of the greatest films ever, and so I would strongly urge you, once again, my friends, if you haven't seen this film, please at least consider checking it out. I know that you will enjoy it. I know you won't regret choosing this film. So once again, this is The Cloud Capstar, which is, for my money anyway, my favorite release from the Criterion collection from 2019. And with that, my friends, that is it as far as my discussion of the Criterion collection releases of 2019. That's not to say I will never discuss these films ever again on this YouTube channel. Hopefully the opportunity will present itself many times on many occasions going forward. But as far as a discussion of a end-of-year type of thing, yes, this is the end. And so I hope you enjoyed it, my friends. And if you are eager to leave some comment about something that you have to say, maybe some favorites that you would like to have mentioned, please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what it is you have to say. With this, the year is about to end, and it was a great year. I'm so happy to have been able to discuss some of these Criterion releases, but as you can tell, there were many other releases that I really wish I could have discussed, but I just didn't have the opportunity. There are so many other great films. The Circus, I didn't get a chance to talk about that much. Until the End of the World, Old Joy. Oh gosh, I feel bad now because I really wanted to mention more of these films. And 1984, of course, 24 Frames. And others, you know, even by making these selections, I'm still forgetting so many. The Kid Brother, of course, and the like. And so there are many other titles that I neglected to mention, that I could not mention, and just I hope you can forgive me. I just did the very best based on my own subjective taste and my own preferences, but they are just my own, and I acknowledge that. And so if you want to talk with me or with anyone else here about any other releases from this year that I didn't happen to mention, of course, my friends, of course, feel free to leave your thoughts and comments down below. As always, I'd love to hear what it is you have to say. And as a closing, I should say that we did see some great sets. You know, we saw the great Godzilla set, and I acknowledge that it might have made people very happy. It might have disappointed others, but and I acknowledge that as well. There are also some great other releases that we saw. All About Eve. There are some little issues with packaging, but I think Criterion is trying its best to fix that. So those of you who are in North America, please check out the Criterion website for any information about replacement packaging if you're interested about that. But let's not, hopefully, hopefully that wasn't too much of a distraction for those of us who are really in love with that film, All About Eve. And that's another film that I would love to have mentioned here, but I just didn't get a chance to. And I would say also that we didn't get any Eclipse sets, which is, I think, a very interesting development. There might be something to that. I mean, Eclipse sets have been very rare in terms of new releases. It's always a nice thing to see Eclipse sets, but I too acknowledge the fact that perhaps, maybe this is an indication that we might never see another Eclipse set again. Hopefully, I would love to see more Eclipse sets, but I'll try to be as realistic as possible. And considering the format, considering the subject matter, and also considering the existence of the Criterion Channel streaming service, perhaps it might not be a realistic thing to expect more Eclipse sets. But my friends, I will always keep my fingers crossed, because I am a great admirer of the Eclipse series, and I hope to see at least one more, hopefully very soon. And of course, we might see more box sets in 2020 as a kind of follow-up or a continuation of that great sort of tradition that we saw in recent years with the Ingmar Bergman set first, and now the Godzilla set this year. And who knows what 2020 will bring as far as box sets and other releases. It'll be something that I'm certainly looking forward to, and I hope to see you there, my friends. And hopefully it'll be a great New Year 2020. But now it is still 2019, and there are still a couple days left. So that's still some time to enjoy some films, and hopefully to enjoy some Criterion Collection releases. So if you don't mind, I will leave you now, and I will go and watch a couple of Criterion movies and just enjoy the rest of the time that I have left in 2019. So with that, my friends, thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. It was wonderful to see you, as always, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. There's one more video that I will make before the end of the year, but this is the last video that I will make this year regarding the Criterion Collection. So once again, thank you for your time, and until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please, please, please keep on watching a lot of great, great movies. My dear friends, take good care of yourselves, and cheers.